Namaste, I'm 𝐺𝐻 from Samskara Healing. A warm welcome to you all. As I continue with my talk about shamanism. I did introduce you to shamanism. Thank you for the feedback. There was a beautiful feedback about thank you for the insight and thank you, it keeps me going. Now, as I continue talking about shamanism, I spoke about what it's about, the way of life, and it's altered consciousness. Many people say, how do I know if I'm a shaman? A shaman is someone who have spent their years mastering their skills and working on it. So of course, you and I are not shamans, though many people relate us and they do call us a shaman because I am working in the shamanic field. But the true shamans are the indigenous tribe who are sitting in the forests and in the deep woods and who have dedicated their life to nature, to the way of understanding nature, working with it. They know the medicine men and women. So those are the true shamans. What ideally each and every one of us who have learned shamanism are shamanic practitioners, and that is what we should be referring ourselves to. I do at times call myself a shaman. That is because one of my teachers addressed me saying that you have studied this much and you have worked this much and you can call yourself a shaman. But at times I feel I cannot address myself as a shaman. Not that I'm not ready, not that I'm not prepared, not that anyone can stop me. I just feel that there's yet so much to learn, so much to understand. So what is it? What am I talking about? Really, is this so in-depth and so puts you in spaces of introspection? Of course it does. The journey when you step into it is amazing, and only if you do it would you understand what I'm speaking. Until then you would not know what I'm saying. There are many people who come, they ask, and then they say, oh no, it's too expensive. Well, there is a lot to learn, and there is something where we honor the teachings which has to be done. If teaching is ever given free, it is never valued. It is never taken the right way. I have been there, I have done that, and I know. As long as it's given free, it is never valued. So moving on about shamanism. Are you a shaman? You may not be a shaman, but definitely in your own ways, you would be a shamanic practitioner. We all pray. We pray to the sun, we pray to the moon, we pray to the wind, we pray to the water, irrelevant of what religious path you follow. You could be Buddhist, you could be a Jain, you could be a Christian, you could be a Muslim, anybody. It's irrelevant. We all pray to energy. We pray to the food we eat, the air we breathe. We are grateful. We're constantly thanking. We wish well from the heart. We pray for everything. That is the beauty of the way of life. So that is another thing which I truly love about shamanism is you could be of any religion, but it does not bind you. It is, you just go with the flow. You just make it part of you. I have improvised my own prayers with shamanism. The way I set my intent, what we in our practices say, sankalp. I set my intent with that thought, the way it has to be done, how to connect to energies, how to address them, how to pray to them. Yes, we do have our priests, we do have fathers and so on, people who come home and bless the home and pray and recite prayers. A shaman can also be known as a priest, a healer. A shaman is multifaceted with many names. He could be a counselor because he does so much, he or she out there. More than anything, the beauty when you get onto this path is you get into sync with Mother Nature. We all have lost the sync from the time we have locked ourselves in the concrete jungle. We just don't know how to survive out there in nature. We yearn for it. There's something in us which yearns for it, which is very, very important for us and we move to nature, maybe to walk in the park, or we go to the seaside or to the mountains, but we would like to spend time, we would like to go and meet Mother Nature in various forms, to visualize, to have sunset, to do things, but nevertheless we've still lost and we're not in sync. A shaman is always in sync. He or she knows when it's going to rain or if it's not going to rain. And one of the first things which a shaman would say is, if there is no rain, saying that area is not in alignment with Mother Nature. And he or she would track to see why the alignment is not there, because there is no rain, there is drought, or there is no yielding of crops. What is happening? Why are things not happening in the rightful way? So they would track. So the next point is, they are good trackers. You learn it. It doesn't happen overnight. So when they are trackers, they become the trackers for their tribes. So basically, they are the indigenous tribes and they are spread all across the world. I cannot say it's only in America, whether be it north or south. There are shamans in Tibet, in Siberia, in Africa, in Europe. All over, across the globe, you have shamans. You have some even in India, and now you have a lot of people like me who have studied shamanism and come out here to teach and to spread the knowledge of importance of being in sync with the universe and Mother Nature. My core strength, which I picked up and I have been majorly speaking about it and spreading the word, is I want to dream a beautiful world into being. And as a shaman, as a shamanic practitioner, I have it in me to give it out to people so that they dream a beautiful world. We make this a better world for the generations to come. So that's the beauty of shamanism. You understand what you want to do and you do it. So yes, I spoke about shamans being trackers. So you learn how to track, and you not only track on the physical plane, you also track in the upper world. You move into various levels. You try to understand what is it, how to progress, what to do, how can you help. So there are a lot of things you see and you try to progress and track and do things like that. The next important thing a shaman does is he or she knows a lot of importance of medicinal plants, the benefits, what needs to be taken, how it needs to be taken, and they would train their students to do it. And I read this beautiful book. I would put it up in my next recording, and it's The Wind Beneath My Wings, a beautiful book by Barkatt. I loved that book, and when I had to do my mentorship and I was really keen, the first thing I asked my teacher is, can I do mentorship? And they said, you can, but we're going to ask you some questions, and then we're going to see whether really you're meant to do it and are you ready and prepared to do it. As I spoke about in my last video, I was petrified about shamanism. I was petrified about what it was, and I was curious and I studied, and I was a little scared when they said trance and going into a space and trying to connect to spirit. And for me, the only spirit I knew was something called the entities or the ghosts. So it scared me, and I really didn't know, because I basically faint heart coming to it. And I was like, really, am I prepared for this? And the first day of I did sign up, and I was like fully excited. I told my teacher, I've come here, I want to heal myself. And she said, yeah, okay, you come for the class and we'll see. And I said, I want to learn it as a healing modality, and can I teach it? She said, no, you can't teach it. I was a little disappointed, because I was allowed to teach magnified healing, whereas shamanism, they said no. My first set of teachers were very, very strict. They were very strict to the extent, because of them, I'm here today talking about shamanism and even teaching shamanism. And I have the permission to teach. So when I asked, they said, no, you can't teach. I was really disappointed, and I just didn't know how to deal with it and what to do and how to progress. So as we moved forward, and the first day of class, I just felt very uncomfortable. And when the class started, and I heard them opening this, what we call the sacred space in shamanism, it's very similar to doing your sankalp. So as we had to open the sacred space, and I turned and I looked at everybody. Everybody were very serious, and I was so jittery. And I heard my teacher. He was like, "Spirit of the East." And I was looking left and right thinking, what if there's a ghost? What if it's something? And everybody's so comfortable and I'm feeling so uncomfortable. And then I turned to the next direction and I was just looking at my handbag and looking at the door and saying, I want to go. I don't want to do this course. This is not for me. I am not dealing with this kind of thing. I don't even know what made me come here and get into doing this. And then I told myself, I said, this is for my own benefit. I have paid for it. So let me just sit for the class. And I sat. And I told myself, I'll wait till the tea break and then I'm going to leave. I don't want to continue this. I just didn't get a good vibe because the teachers were extremely strict. And the kind of strictness, I couldn't deal with it. And I decided. Then by the tea break, there was the ice between us students, the new freshers. There was an ice break. We started chatting, and as I spoke to the fellow students, tea break, I had to slip out. I didn't slip out, and this is my personal experience, and I'm sharing it because a lot of people have apprehensions about shamanism, and at that time I didn't even think about mentorship. Tea break got over, then teacher said, come on, we need to get back into class, there's a lot to complete. And I was like, God, I didn't go. Okay, then I said, okay, I'm going to sit till lunch and then I'm going to exit. And I sat and I went deeper and deeper. And there was something in me, there was a soul stirring happening in me. I cannot explain it. Only one has to experience it to understand what I'm saying. And I just sat. I just didn't move. It's like my soul felt it belonged there when by consciously I was jumping and I was saying, no, I want to go. So lunch break was my promise that I'm going to exit, saying that I have a call to make and I'm just going to take my bag and go and never return. I sat. Lunch break, again got chatty with the students, with the teacher. And then I got to know about the mentorship. And then I asked the teacher, I said, can I do it? And he said, yeah, I will give you the questionnaire by the end of the day and I want you to fill it out and give it to me. And I will decide if you're really meant to do it. And I will let you know by the end of the workshop. So I was like, okay, I'll just see what it is and whether I'm really meant to do it. And I just let it go. You will not believe it. I thought lunch break I was going to go. I sat and the class got a little emotional because there was a lot of unearthing of trauma, pain, a lot of things which I had never addressed, including the death of my mom, which I hadn't yet addressed, was all coming out, and it became very emotional for me and exhausting because I was not prepared for a workshop like this, which is going to shake me to the roots. I still refused to get up and leave. I sat through, and by evening, the teacher put a lot of do's and don'ts, and there again we had a clash, and the other students stepped in saying, no, just sit. Just sometimes learn to go silent when the teacher is being strict. So I was a little emotional and I felt like saying, do hell with it, and I don't want to come for this workshop tomorrow, and I'm not coming. One is, it was difficult for me because I was being shaken to the roots, and I had a lot to be clearing, and I didn't know how I'm going to clear and what am I going to do. So in the process of all this, I finished the day and I decided I'm not going to go back for the workshop. I get home, and as I reach home, I see this mail from my teacher saying, as I promised, here comes the thing, please fill this out and send it to me. And I go, I fill it up. I submit it. I'm least bothered whether I'm going to get selected or not because I have decided I'm not going. And again, I progress. Next day, I wake up, I get ready. I am telling myself I'm not going, but subconsciously I've got ready and off I go for the second day of the workshop. I sit in the class and I tell the teacher, do you know I didn't want to come for the workshop? And he turned and said, why? I said, because I just felt that you guys are too strict and I can't come here. He said, but you're still sitting here because you're honoring the spirit. So honoring the spirit is very important. And with that note, I end this video. you will see my next video where I'm speaking a little more about the similar things. So until then, I thank you. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you so much. And I'm Jaya Palashri from Samskara Healing. Thank you.